Good evening and welcome to TVM-News. Today is Wednesday, March 1st. I'm Alex Weidner.
And I'm Kaitlin Korgeski. This week we bring you the latest happening in the Marywood-University community. Lots of events happening on campus and in the athletic department.
Some good news for Marywood students majoring in philosophy, Spanish, and religious studies. The undergraduate curriculum committee voted unanimously to keep the three majors. The Strategic Resource Allocation Process, or SRA, had suggested the three majors be offered as only minors, but after appeals from department heads, the philosophy, Spanish, and religious studies majors will remain.
Celebrate Women's History Month by taking a trip to New York. A bus will be taking Marywood students and students from surrounding colleges to the Women's Rights National Historical Park in Seneca Falls, New York on March 25th. The bus will leave campus at 10 a.m. and return to campus at 6 p.m. Cost is $10 and is open to all students, faculty, and staff, as well as friends and family. To sign up, email Dr. Sam Christiansen.
Students may have noticed advertisements about dating last month. A new club on campus brings national group Romance Revolution to Marywood. Junior Alyssa Riley started this chapter in hopes of providing a safe place for students seeking healthy relationships. The group will next meet on March 7th at 9 p.m. in the Schwartz Center, Room D.
Today is Ash Wednesday, and faith services are being offered on campus. Ashes were distributed at 8:30 this morning in the Fireplace Lounge and again during Mass in the Marian Chapel at noon. Students who missed those opportunities were able to stop by Marian Chapel at 4:45 this afternoon for ashes and at the atrium in McGowan at 5 o'clock. Last week, Marywood held the first talk of the University Open Panel Forum of the semester. TVM's Bethany Wade has more.
The Pacers for Justice and Peace held their monthly event, Talk of the University, on Monday in Upper Main Dining Room of Nazareth Hall. The topic of this month's event was executive orders. Dr. Adam Spritzen, an assistant professor in the Social Sciences Department, and Dr. Aaron Sadlak, the chair of the English Department, presented information to Marywood community members about the history of executive orders and the language behind them. Chelsea Collins came to learn more about the subject at hand.
Well, I really liked having the two different types of perspectives, having the English professor and then the social science professor, and kind of melding those two ideas and concepts together.
The Pacers for Justice and Peace are currently just staff and faculty, but they are looking to open it up to students.
Right now the group is a faculty and staff, but we have a group of students who said they're interested in working with us, and we definitely encourage them to, and then we're trying to think about how we can effectively set up these partnerships, because that is the idea, that we want to empower students to lead on.
For TVM News, I'm Bethany Wade.
The Student Government Association is looking for student input. In an email sent out to students on Monday, SGA asked students to provide feedback on the core curriculum. With future changes coming to the core curriculum, SGA will be sharing any feedback with college deans for consideration. Peers on Wellness with the Counseling and Student Development Center held a movie screening of the documentary film Embrace as part of National Eating Disorder Awareness Week. TVM's Bethany Wade has the story.
As part of National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, Peers on Wellness and the Counseling and Student Development Center hosted a screening and panel discussion of the documentary Embrace. The documentary focuses on the issues of body shaming on a global scale. POW also provided a display with information relating to society's perception of body image. After the film, a panel discussion was held to further discuss the movie and talk about eating disorders and body positivity.
To not have a discussion to kind of process this and allow the audience to also contribute their feelings, I think we could have missed a lot of points, and I was really, really impressed with how many students did comment on their own journeys and what they've experienced.
Corinne Brown, a senior art therapy major, hopes that the entire week helps to open up the conversation about body image.
I think it's really important that even though when you come to something like this, that you just don't walk out the room, you talk about it for 5 minutes and then it's gone. It's about like, how do we implement this into our society?
For TVM News, I'm Bethany Wade.
We'll be right back with Carly on what events and entertainment is happening at Marywood now, right after this short break.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to TVM-News. Let's check in with Carly for the latest entertainment and events happening on campus.
The Music, Theater, and Dance Department is having a Godspell performance. The biblical musical will be held Friday, March 3rd and Saturday, March 4th, both at 7:30 p.m. in the Sede La Vergata Center. Tickets are free for with your Marywood ID and free for IHM Sisters, but $10 for general admissions, $8 for seniors, and $6 for non-Marywood students. The Dancing with the Students dance battle hosted by the Student Activities crew will be held in the Upper Main Dining Hall on Thursday, March 2nd at 9 p.m. Students could make teams and enter as a small group or a large group to have the chance to win as much as $500. There will be 2 rounds of hip-hop and freestyle. Faculty and staff judges will decide the winners, and there will be free fruit and water for all. The Marywood Learning Commons and Pacers for Justice and Peace want to create 1,000 peace paper cranes. The cranes will be a symbol of peace and Marywood's missions and core values. Once the display is over, they will box 500 cranes, each for Senator Bob Casey and Senator Pat Toomey. The Holly Color Festival, held by the Student Activities crew, will be in the Logren Hall parking lot on Saturday, March 4th at 1 p.m. Students can come and learn more about the Hindu culture. There will be free t-shirts for the first 100 people. Later, from 7 to 9, there will be a bonfire in the McGowan parking lot with traditional music and Indian food. That is all I have for this week. Tune in next week for more at Marywood Now.
Coming up next is the latest national news right after this short break.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Thank you. Did you see anyone brought this? Thanks for helping us.
No problem.
Is this your name? You're welcome.
We do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 5 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right into your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
Welcome back to TVM News. A horrific event occurred on Monday in Riverside, California, when a plane crashed into 2 homes. 5 passengers were aboard the Cessna 310 when something went wrong that is still being investigated. 3 are reported dead and 2 are injured. No one was home in either house during the crash. The incident has caused the surrounding area to be blocked off, and people of nearly 20 homes are to be relocated in shelters in the meantime.
The Oscars took the spotlight this weekend with an average of almost 33 million viewers. Sunday night's Academy Awards was the 89th annual ceremony, and at 3 hours and 49 minutes, the longest broadcast in a decade. Host Jimmy Kimmel cracked jokes about President Donald Trump, Meryl Streep, and his fake ongoing feud with Matt Damon. The lengthy broadcast ended up in a dramatic mix-up when La La Land was awarded Best Picture over Moonlight. Moments later, La La Land producer Jordan Horowitz announced the mistake, and the cast of Moonlight quickly took the stage.
Come on. La La Land.
We lost, by the way, but, you know.
A stunning and unprecedented Oscar night flub over the most important award of the evening.
Moonlight.
La La Land mistakenly announced as Best Picture, even though the winner was Moonlight, causing confusion on stage where the La La Land team was already accepting the award. Oscars overseer PricewaterhouseCoopers releasing a statement and promising an investigation. But La La Land wasn't left in the cold, Emma Stone winning Best Actress for her role in the film, and Damien Chazelle for Best Director. At 32, he's the youngest Best Director winner in history. Best Actor went to Casey Affleck for his role in Manchester by the Sea. After outrage over the lack of diversity in Academy Awards in past years, this year's ceremony celebrating it. Viola Davis winning Best Supporting Actress for her role in Fences, making her the first African American to win an Oscar, Emmy, and Tony for acting roles.
This is sort of like the miracle of God, of dreaming big and just hoping that it sticks.
And of course, amid the pomp, there was also politics. Host Jimmy Kimmel taking jabs at President Trump. At one point, even tweeting him. In Los Angeles, I'm Kristen Holmes.
No human has traveled past low Earth orbit since the final Apollo mission in 1972, until now. SpaceX has announced they will be helping 2 people travel to space to see the moon. The trip is to happen for 1 week in 2018 after required fitness tests and training is completed. The takeoff will happen on the same launch pad near Cape Canaveral, Florida, which was used for the Apollo program's missions. It is unknown at this time who these 2 lucky people are and how much it will cost them.
Philadelphia police are investigating the motive behind some vandalism at a cemetery that happened on Saturday.
1, 2, 3. Too much. Downward over there.
In a race against the waning daylight, a small army of people showed up at Mount Carmel Cemetery in the Wissinoming section of the city to upright headstones. Philadelphia police say sometime overnight more than 100 were knocked down, but estimates here place the number of toppled gravestones much higher. Jewish families have buried their dead here for more than a century.
These are headstones that weigh some of them tons. This is something that was clear from the perspective of somebody who works in the cemetery that this was done deliberately.
Some had heard about the extensive vandalism over social media and wanted to see it for themselves.
I don't know why this happened. I don't know why anything like this would happen. Somebody did something, and maybe they weren't thinking, or maybe they were thinking too much.
Philadelphia detectives are not speculating on a motive at this point. Those out here are troubled by what they see, but find resolve in the compassion of others to help pick up the pieces.
We're finding comfort in all of the support that we're seeing now.
Jewish cemetery in northeast Philadelphia was targeted, and at least 75, but as many as 100 tombstones were damaged or knocked over. 3 Christian cemeteries in the neighborhood were left untouched. A motive behind the act has not yet been determined.
U.S. Navy SEAL William Ryan Owens was killed in late January during a raid in Yemen, which was the first combat death under Trump's presidency. President Donald Trump planned to immediately meet with Ryan's father, but he requested he did not want to see the commander-in-chief. However, other members of Ryan's family did meet with Trump, including his wife, who was applauded and supported by Ivanka Trump. The White House administration has said the Yemen raid was successful in gaining important intelligence information.
A man in New Orleans is being investigated after an accident on Saturday. The 25-year-old suspect is reportedly had a blood alcohol level of 0.232%. almost 3 times the legal limit. 28 people were injured after Nielsen Rizzuto drove a truck into a Mardi Gras parade crowd. Police said on Sunday that Rizzuto would face at least 4 charges, possibly more. No deaths were reported and none of the injuries are life-threatening, but 21 people were sent to the hospital. We'll have the 7-day weather forecast after this break.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to TVM News. Let's check in with Sam on the Scranton area weather forecast.
Today we have plenty of rain to cool down the warm weather. A powerful thunderstorm this afternoon with the added bonus of downpours and strong winds. That should hopefully calm down by nighttime. Our current high is 66 degrees and the low is 37 degrees. Tomorrow it will be partly sunny with some residual winds from the storm, with some clouds accumulating as we approach Thursday night. That high will be 42 and the low will be 32 degrees. Friday is going to be comparatively cold with some slight snow showers in the morning, the clouds and the winds still going strong, with a high of 33 and a low of just 16 degrees. Saturday it will be bright but still cold with only a few clouds to be seen, with only a 4% chance of rain that night. High of 31, low of 21. Sunday, spotty showers in the morning followed by more consistent rain that night, with notably weaker winds. The high will be 44 degrees and the low will be 35. Monday, mostly cloudy with some rains just after sunset, with a 20% chance of another thunderstorm, the high being 51 degrees and the low being 36. Lastly, on Tuesday, it will be cloudy all day, with snow starting in the afternoon and continuing through the night, as well as the return of some strong winds. The final high of 37 and the low 26 degrees. That's all for now. See you next week. Back to the desk.
After a short break, we'll come back with Marywood and national news here on TVM.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Welcome back to TVM News. Let's check in with Nicolo with Marywood and national sports.
A season for the record books appeared to come to an end last Wednesday.
when the women's basketball team came up short in their Colonial States Athletic Conference playoff matchup against Cabrini-University. The women fought hard until the end, eventually dropping a 67-63 decision. The game was close throughout, but a fourth quarter scoring drought and 28 free throws for Cabrini spelled defeat for the Pacers. Strong efforts from freshman Jordan Barth, who notched 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 blocks, and Gab Giordano, who had 17 points and 8 rebounds, led the way for the women. Despite the loss, Coach Machaco and the Pacers have been invited to the Eastern College Athletic Conference Division III tournament as a result of their impressive regular season play. The team's first-round game happens tonight in New York City at the Brooklyn Athletic Facility against New York University. The preseason softball Colonial States Athletic Conference coaches poll is out, and the Marywood softball team is checking in at number 3 on the list. Out of the 12 schools in the CSAC, only Newman in first place and Cabrini in second place ranked higher than the Pacers. In what was an extremely tight race for the top spot, Newman came out with just 2 voting points and 1 first-place vote more than Cabrini to secure the top preseason spot with 138 points and 6 first-place votes. The Pacers, who came in at 115 points, are positioned nicely for a run at the CSAC title this season after last year's campaign that saw the team achieve a 22-14 record and a 17-5 record in the CSAC. Both the men's and women's lacrosse teams had successful weeks that saw the women rout Alvernia College in their season opener by a score of 19-9, and the men's team pick up a pair of wins against Wilkes University and St. Mary's College of Maryland, and a narrow loss at the hands of Mount St. Mary's. The 3-1 combined record for the two teams was just the beginning. On the women's side, Sam Bussinelli's 4 goals and 4 assists earned her the Colonial States Athletic Conference Player of the Week honor. Her teammate Lauren Smith was named CSAC Defensive Player of the Week for her 9 saves against Alvernia. For the men's team, Vinny Biancardi was named to the CSAC honor roll for his 20 saves in the Pacers' 9-8 upset victory against St. Mary's College of Maryland. Following the landmark championships, the trio of Virginia Cobb, Julia Randolph, and Kourtney Snyder earned second-team All-Landmark Conference recognition. Cobb earned her honor for her second-place finish in the 200 free, while Randolph secured her spot with a second-place performance in the 400 individual medley. And Snyder received 2 second-team honors with her runner-up performances in both 1-meter and 3-meter diving. Last Thursday marked the National Basketball Association's trade deadline for the 2016-17 season. There were plenty of trade rumors, as there always are every year, but the biggest move came when the New Orleans Pelicans acquired DeMarcus Cousins and Omri Caspi from the Kings in exchange for Buddy Hield, Tyreek Evans, Langston Galloway, and both a first and second round draft pick in the 2017 NBA Draft. This move means that the center many view as the best in the league, Cousins, will be playing alongside consensus best power forward Anthony Davis. This will be a frightening front court for opponents to face. In some other deadline moves of note, the Dallas Mavericks acquired Nerlens Noel, and the Raptors acquired both Serge Ibaka and PJ Tucker. In a notable move of inactivity, the Celtics failed to add either Paul George or Jimmy Butler. Ice hockey moved outdoors this Saturday when the Pittsburgh Penguins took on the Philadelphia Flyers in a 2017 Stadium Series matchup at Heinz Field, home of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Stadium Series has become one of the biggest spectacles each year for the National Hockey League. In front of their hometown crowd, the Penguins prevailed by a score of 4-2. Sidney Crosby scored his league-leading 34th goal of the season, and goaltender Matt Murray saved 36 of the 38 shots he faced to send the Pittsburgh fans home happy. That's all for this week. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Nicolo. Kellogg's has been receiving interesting attention lately due to their new Pop-Tart creativity. The popular snack is now being served as pizza, chili fries, and tacos. Not only can these flavors be tasted in the pastry style, but also now in milkshakes. The new way to eat Pop-Tarts can now be found at a New York Times Square eatery called Pop-Tarts Cafe.
You know, I love pizza and tacos and chili fries, but I don't think I'd want to eat them in the form of a milkshake anytime soon.
No, that doesn't sound too good.
On behalf of all the TVM-News cast and crew, thanks for tuning in. Follow TV-Marywood on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram for more Marywood-University news.
Have a good week, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 5 p.m. here at TVM News.